Ladyboys are the least of your worries when living out in Bangkok for 2+ years. The biggest worries you should be having is sorting out the right visas to stay here long term, locking into actually making money, because you don't want to be one of those people who are just staying in the lowest frequency places possible, like staying in hostels and staying in very cheap hotels, or maybe even sleeping on the streets trying to find some bugs to eat. So you definitely need to lock in, as well as sorting out your accommodation and which place you're actually going to live, because the thing about Bangkok is that it's a lot bigger than you'd think in terms of the actual size and the location and how everything is spread out. For example, when I first came here to Bangkok, I stayed around an hour away from the central part of the, like where everyone's at, all of my friends and stuff. So not knowing like what I know now, 2.5 years ago when I first came out here, it was just like each and every time that I went to go hang out with my friends, whether it be a dinner, cigars, sparring, I'd have to drive like 45 minutes to an hour on bike as well, which is absolutely gruesome, especially when it was raining season. So just knowing that the location is absolutely important, because if you're not in the right location, just know that, you know, even though you might be saving a few dollars by, you know, living a little bit further out from the center, eventually it's going to add up in terms of the time that you wasted traveling, as well as the money that you spent on the Grab, which of course is not much, but still it adds up very quickly over time. So the location that you want to stay at, I'd recommend, is somewhere near Hemisphere. Right now, where I'm living at the moment, is the peak location that I've lived in over the last 4 apartments that I've lived in out here in Bangkok, just because like with Hemisphere, Courtier, Emporium, like these are the best places to live near, just because Unreal Gym is nearby, all the cigar places, the gyms, Muay Thai, everything is condensed into this like 2-kilometer radius, which is an absolute cheat code, because everything takes like 5 to 10 minutes compared to like living somewhere like an hour away, where like any Muay Thai place, sparring with the bros or anything like that, it's just an hour drive, and that's just a complete waste of time, money, energy. So when you do come out here, you're gonna find the best location, which is somewhere around like 2 kilometers in terms of the radius around Hemisphere, Courtier, and it really depends on your friends as well. Like if you probably don't have the same friends as me. You might have friends in Ceylon. You just wanna find a location where it's at least bike distance in terms of like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, just because like, you know, taking a bike is risky in itself. You know, you're taking a scooter, which is, you know, I think Thailand's one of the most dangerous places in the world to ride a bike. But in that aspect, you need to think like long term and lowering your risk of like actually dying from a motorbike by just like not living super far. Because if you're living super far, you got to take like a 40-minute drive every day, every other day to go see the bros. And, you know, that risk kind of adds up over time. And then with that, I had another kind of thing I wanted to go over. So we went over the location, the visa. For myself, when I first came out here, I was rocking the tourist visa for around 6 months. And that was up until I ran out of, you know, options to do border runs, because you can only do like two border runs a year before they run out, before you have to sort out something long term. So for myself, I don't think DTV was out quite yet. Maybe it was, and I just didn't really know about it. But what I did know about was the Muay Thai visa, they had the Elite visa, and they had the ED visa, which is the education visa. So at the time, I could not afford the Elite visa, which is around, I think, 100K USD, 30K USD. I kind of forgot how much it cost. But with the ED visa, there's this one connection I had that I also use for the DTV, on which I have now, that I paid around, I think it was like $500 or 1K. I think it was like 1.2K USD. And that's go to Chiang Mai, get a stamp, and then I come back and I get another stamp, and I'm good in Thailand for basically 15 months. Like no headache, no worries whatsoever. So got that all sorted. And then by the time that ran out, apparently they changed the rules with the ED visa, where you actually have to attend class, and I was not attending any classes whatsoever. If I did, I probably would be fluent in Thai right now. I might be making a YouTube channel just targeting Thai people, but as you guys can see, my English is still 100% there. 0% Thai has been learned. But yeah, now you can't really get the ED visa unless you're actually trying to go to these classes and actually trying to learn something. So unless you're trying to learn Thai or go to a class to actually learn some type of Thai skill or whatever they do teach here, then you can't really do that anymore. It's kind of illegal, because they actually check your work and seeing if you're actually attending the classes, which they weren't doing when I had it. So now the best option for the visas is the DTV visa, where there's a few different options in terms of how to get it. The way I did it, I wouldn't recommend it if you're not making money yet, just because I paid 3K USD to this one guy. Had to go to Ho Chi Minh City for around 2 weeks. And yeah, I think it was like 2 weeks. And then all I do is just wait for him to say it's approved and I can go back to Thailand. So it's a no headache process. You don't have to do any documents. You don't have to do anything. He takes care of the flights. And yeah, I mean, if you guys want that connection, just hit me up on Instagram or Telegram. But yeah, I mean, with that, it is a little bit more pricier, but it's no headache. And I'd prioritize like just focusing on making more money, not focusing on all this documents and going to the centers and doing all the things myself. And I just outsourced it. And of course, with outsourcing, it does come with a higher price, but I value my time, my headspace more than $3,000. But if you guys don't have $3,000, you guys can just do it yourself. We have a connection in the high table who can do it all for you for just like, I think $500. So it's like one fifth of the price. He won't like book the flights and do all the documents for you, but he'll kind of help you out every single step of the way. And with that, you just need to, I think you need like $300 to set it up, and then maybe pay that guy like $200, whatever it is. Then you just need to have a proof of online income. You need to have proof that you have, I think, 15K USD in your bank account. And if you don't have that, he has a workaround on how to sort that out. But then other than that, after you get that approved, you have to go to the immigration center and the embassy, whatever it is. And then you have to wait to get approved. And then after you're approved, you have to go, I think you have to leave Thailand and come back, and then you get a stamp for, I think it's 6 months. And then after those 6 months, you just have to leave and come back, and then you get another 6 months, and you can do that for 15 years? No, 5 years. My bad, guys, 5 years. So yeah, I have that right now, but that's something you should have as high priority with coming out here to Thailand, especially like keep that in your mind, because like I think at this point, you can only have 2 border runs a year. So you can only realistically stay in Thailand 6 months out of the year. I'm not too sure. Someone can confirm that in the comments. So it changed a little bit since I first came out here. So you need to make sure to set up some type of long-term visa out, so that way you just don't get kicked out and get banned. Because I saw this one guy on Instagram Reels. He thought he got the DTV and stayed here like 180 days, and when he left, he apparently didn't. And now he's banned for an entire year in Thailand. So you just want to make sure that doesn't happen to you. Now next up, we have the location, the visa, and next up I would go over the budget. So with the budgeting, I came out here with $1,500, no income whatsoever quite yet from high ticket sales. But with that, it's very important that you do budget for at least the first 3 to 6 months. So I'd recommend to at least save 5 to 10K USD before coming out here, whether that be from a 9 to 5, selling some things that you don't use at your house. Just do whatever you can to get this 5 to 10K saved up, because, you know, I would not recommend to do what I did. I had to fast for 110 hours until I finally landed my first gold mine offer. But if you do have balls of steel and you're in a mood for some excitement in your life, some thrill, to have your back against the wall with nothing to lose and everything to gain, then I would recommend it. But if not, save at least 5 to 10K, which will get you at least 3 to 6 months if you budget properly. And with budgeting properly, I would just get an apartment on Facebook Marketplace or stay in a cheap hotel until you're able to lock in. And that actually moves into my next point that you need to absolutely lock in. Because the thing is that there are so many people that came out when I first came out here, like a few months later. I landed here August 29th of 2023. And what is August, September, October? 2 months later, there's around 15 to 17 people that came out here from New England, from the States, from Australia, with the same exact hopes and dreams of me, as me, to make money online, to stay out here long term. But the thing is that they did not lock in. They had a lot more savings than me. They had a lot more of a safety net. And I think it was a really big benefit that I came out here with a lot less savings than them, because it forced me to lock in very, very quickly, because I couldn't enjoy myself. I didn't have the funds to do so. But because they came out here with a lot larger savings, they didn't have that ambition. They didn't have that feeling that their back was against the wall and they had to make it work. And with this being the case, they weren't able to lock in to hone in on the skills and the vehicles that they needed to sustain themselves out here long term, which led to around 95% of them having to go back home. And some people, I don't want to say names, but they came out here and the only thing they did within a 2-month span was set up a PayPal account or a Stripe account, whatever it was. And I mean, with that, I mean, so many people came out with savings, and instead of locking in on skills, they locked in on Nana Plaza, they locked in on going out and just grinding in the complete wrong direction, which led them to not learn anything, not grow, and instead just deplenish and drain their bank account to eventually having to go back home. So for that not to be you, right when you come out here, especially if you're not making at least 10K a month online, just lock yourself in an apartment. And if you have no idea how to make money online yet, I'd definitely recommend high ticket sales, just because especially with appointment setting, the pollution is strong today. Look at this shit. It's kind of getting to me. I need to go smoke some shisha to cancel it out. But yeah, like I was saying, you need to lock yourself in a room and figure out exactly how you're gonna make money online, whether that be high ticket sales, e-commerce. I definitely recommend appointment setting, just because you only need one skill. No startup capital needed, no really skills needed. You probably already have the skill right now, which is the skill of sales. Whether you've made a friend, a girlfriend, you've made someone like you, you've already used a skill in the past. And with the skill, you're basically just helping these online influencers, coaches, mentors that are making hundreds of thousands a month, maybe even millions a month, sell their high ticket courses, mentorships, communities, whatever it may be. And then you just get a percentage of every set deal that gets closed. So with that, you can always move into closing, sales management, growth operating. Appointment setting is just like the barrier of entry to making money online, because you need no skills whatsoever. And sometimes you don't even have to talk. Because usually as an appointment setting, there's phone setting, there's DM setting, and with DM setting, you don't even have to show your face. You can even be Indian and start appointment setting, which is absolutely insane. So I mean, other than that, with budgeting, you just need to lock yourself in a room until you get to at least 3 to 5K a month. And then from there, you can start enjoying life a little bit, start doing Muay Thai, start going to Koh Samui, Phuket, and all these other places. And what I'd recommend as well is when you first come out here, don't go straight to Koh Samui. That was my first original plan with coming out here, was going straight to Koh Samui instead of Bangkok. But I'm very glad I chose Bangkok, because when I did go to Koh Samui around 6 months after first coming out here, because I made 10K a month and then I went to Koh Samui, I realized like when I went to Koh Samui, my income dropped a lot. So if I first went out there instead of coming to Bangkok first, I would have not really been able to lock in, because Koh Samui in all reality is one of the most beautiful, insane places on earth. It's just like heaven on earth, to be honest. It's just like you wake up, no shirt, don't even brush your teeth, hop on a bike, go train Muay Thai, go to the beach, sip pineapple smoothies, maybe go to the club, maybe take shrooms, drive a bike somewhere, go to the waterfalls. It's just an absolute adventure. But with that, you're just not really making any money whatsoever. So it's very important that, like with Bangkok, that you're able to lock in first and go through the trenches, because everyone has to go through the trenches. Because like if it was easy coming out here to Bangkok, especially anywhere in Thailand, to make money online and start living completely on your terms, then everyone would be doing it. And that's the reality, is like it's going to be hard. But the thing is, like what I tell people on sales calls that are working the 9 to 5s and saying like, oh, day trading is hard, crypto is hard. It's just like, yeah, everything is hard. With anything new, it's going to be very hard at first, because it's uncomfortable, you don't know how to do it. But the thing is like which hard gets you the result that you want, because with the 9 to 5, with not taking any risk, you get the consequence of that, you get the outcome of that, which is like you're always going to get the same result of you just have to wake up and go to work you have to go work for someone that doesn't really appreciate your values or who you are. Because the reality is, let's just say you die, okay, and the 9 to 5, the next day, the next week, you're gonna get replaced, and you're not even gonna be remembered. They're like, oh yeah, Ryan died a week ago, who cares, let's replace him. We need someone to fill his position at the cash register, at the office, and you're just another statistic, you're another number. No one really cares about you. But that's one hard of like just living and building out someone else's dreams. And that's very hard, because you have to wake up when you don't want to, you have to go somewhere you don't really want to go. You're not really making the money that you want to make. You're probably living paycheck to paycheck, compared to starting high ticket sales, going out to Thailand and risking it all to create a life you don't need to escape from anymore. That's also going to be hard as well. But with that hard, at least when you get through those times and you unlock these very high income skills, and these risks pay off, and that you believe in yourself to get to where you want to go, you're actually able to live completely on your terms and create a life you never need to escape again. And other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so living in Bangkok for 2 years, I've just learned that like, basically, like if nothing changes, nothing changes. You know, it's very overused saying, as well as like you are the average of the 5 people you hang around, which is also a very cliche saying, but those two things are just absolutely true. Back in the States, I was just living with people who were just in the 9 to 5 university, and most people my age are still doing that. They haven't made any money, they haven't gone through any new experiences, they've been doing the same shit each and every single day. And luckily enough for me, I was just able to wake up to the fact that if I just kept doing what I was doing, everything would remain the same. And even if I worked 2 9-to-5s, in which I was working back in the States for 200 years straight, no days off, I would never be able to retire because of inflation and the rate staying the same, as well as I'd never be able to travel. I'd never be able to enjoy life. I would just make money and be living with my parents, and that's not what I wanted to do. So other than that, hopefully this video helped you guys out a lot in terms of, like, you know, my 2-year experience out here in Thailand, 2 years and some change. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one.